get too much. Hey, hi, happy Friday again. It's Betsy, Beard and Warner, and I am really excited because I have Leslie Olesen with us today. She's with Oasis Advisors, and she is going to talk to us about something super important, and it's helping our seniors, our loved ones, get into a safer and happier home when the time comes. So without further ado, Leslie, welcome. Welcome.
Hi, glad to be here.
Tell us how you work with clients.
Okay. Well, we're very personal. We once someone is referred to us or finds us on the internet, we do an interview, find out what they want, what they need, importantly, what their budget is, what type of care they're going to require. And geography is very important, location, just like in real estate. I'm really serious about what I do because I want people, this is probably going to be their last home, the last place they move to. And so it's really important to make sure that, first of all, that the senior is involved in the decision if they can be, and that it's the right fit for them. And so that's always the goal. So you do an interview and then match them with the communities that meet their needs.
Okay, so you match people with communities, and how is that going during COVID? What is going on with that?
Well, when COVID first hit, of course, it just slowed down. It was very dead. And then when things started to open up, it kind of opened the floodgates. So we started seeing a lot more people deciding that they do need to move. Unfortunately, a lot of the folks I've been seeing are too far gone for me to be able to help them. I place people in assisted living and independent living and memory care. And a lot of the folks I've been seeing have had to go to skilled nursing. And that's kind of the place that nobody ever wants to go. People go, I don't want to go to a nursing home. That's what we're talking about here. So, and a lot of my clients actually got so sick being home alone that they have passed away.
Yeah, because they
didn't
have the socialization. They didn't have anybody watching them, or if they did, it's not the same as 24-hour care.
Yeah. So food, the things that are happening is, it's not fun to eat when you're alone, and
Right.
seniors are notorious for not eating well on their own, and also dehydration. Not drinking. And then the lack of socialization. Those are some of the three biggest.
And falling, I would think.
Oh, falling. Yeah, that's always an issue.
Yeah. So I know we've talked about, it's important. How can the people in our generation help their parents? Because I know you've talked about, we want to be able to make this part of their decision instead of, okay, now it's too late. Now you have to. Whenever we're doing this, my dogs seem to think this is a signal to bark.
That's okay. Mine are downstairs barking too.
Uh-huh.
I think that what's important for folks are, in our generation with our parents getting older is really being honest when you're, well, first of all, talking about it, that's something people should be talking about early on in their lives, what their goals are. I have mine, I have what I want done all written down. All they have to do is follow the instructions. But beyond that, I think communication is important, talking about, what you want to do in terms of where you're going to go and live. And, and just, this has really nothing to do with it, but also end of life decisions.
Yeah.
And finances. People should be communicating a lot more than we do. But then I think what we have to do is keep an eye on our folks and be honest about what's really happening. Denial is a huge issue. And I'll see people talking about.
There we go. It's okay. We all have real lives. And
oh my God. Well, I do it to her all day with school. So, okay. What was I say? Yeah. So we need to pay attention and be honest about what's going on with them. And I would say, if in terms of making the decision whether to stay at home or whether to move to a community, and this is something that has to be discussed, is that if you can support your parents, let's say, or your loved ones that are older, and be there for them and make sure that they're eating and that they are having a social life and that they're doing things, and that there's eyes on them, then yeah, staying at home is always a good option. But if they're going to be isolated and friends can't come over and they're supposedly eating on their own and taking care of themselves, the decision to move might be the right time to move.
Right.
Because it's just it's really dangerous for seniors to be home alone. And that said, if somebody has memory loss, a little bit of dementia, that's definitely, you really have to keep your eyes on those folks.
And it happens fast.
It does.
And in my own case, Leslie knows this, in my own case, my kid's dad, he's lucky he didn't kill himself or someone else. And it happens so quickly that they're okay. And then the next week they are not okay. And luckily, Leslie was able to place him in a great place and safely.
He thrived there. I mean, yeah. Like in a week, he was like a new guy.
Yeah. Yeah. And they were really great. They were really great. And, what else? Can you, I have two questions. Can you tell us what your business model is? Because look, there's a lot of people that do what I do. There's a lot of people that do what you do. And there are different business models, and some are good for some people and some work better for other people. So can you talk to us a little bit about how your company works?
Okay. There are other people that do what I do, but I'm going to say that the Oasis model is one that I think is definitely superior because we spend so much time with our clients. We get to know them. We get to know what they want. We actually we can't go on tours now because nobody's letting anybody in, which is keeping the community safe. But we, like they're doing virtual tours. And so I'll, be on the computer with them going through the virtual tours so that I'm hearing what the salespeople are telling them, so we're getting clear communication. And then in that process, I act as an advocate for them too, because at the end of the day, they're salespeople and they want to sell. And some of them are more compassionate and thoughtful about how they do it. And some of them are salespeople and they're good at what they do. So I can be a buffer for that as well. The other thing that we bring to the table I know that I personally bring to the table is I do a lot of networking with my colleagues that are in the same industry, and we keep tabs on what's happening in the different communities because they all kind of look the same. Mm-hmm, and they all offer pretty much the same things. But what makes it different is, like with any organization, top down, what's going on with management, like we know, like if in a community, all of a sudden their whole sales department left, their executive director left, and their chef left, maybe you don't want to go live there.
Right.
It's a beautiful place.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah. And so I go on the tours and then I help them once they want to make the decision about what they want to do.
And what about your fee structure? So how does because they're all different. They're all different.
We are, thanks for asking that. That's a great question because we are free to our clients. The communities pay us. And so that said, I have to mention, I have agreements with all of the communities around here. So, because I know some other referral agencies don't have contracts everywhere. So they will just limit what they recommend. I'm fortunate enough that I can recommend, I can offer you like any community in the area. I usually, and most of our Oasis representatives usually just recommend 3 communities at a time because it is overwhelming. Like going house shopping.
You're right. We don't let people go see 12 houses. Absolutely not. We narrow it down. And it's the same thing because then you get back, they all looked alike and you don't know what you saw. So that's good. Like, sort of, so you say, let's look at these 3 and then we'll digest that. Then we can
move on if we have to. But usually one of the top 3 works because, we put a lot of thought into who we, what communities we recommend and really try to make a good match to begin with. And then this is a franchise, and so I do have the whole entire Chicagoland area, in Northern Illinois. We have advisors here. We have 3 others. So that's helpful because like I just got a call from a social worker friend of mine, and she's got somebody that needs to be placed out in Elgin. Well, I don't know Elgin. I don't know the communities in Elgin, but there's another senior advisor in Elgin. And so Oasis senior advisor, so she can help them. I mean, I've had people call me that from California, get a referral. And the advantage is that if you talk to me, like if you have a loved one in California and you want, or let's say you're in California and you want to come here to place your mom and dad, I can have it all set up when your plane lands. And we can get it done like in a day or 2 days. And, or else if you want to go have someone take care of your folks in California, I can reach out to the advisors there and they would do the same thing.
That's great.
It really is.
That's really good. Okay, now I'm going to ask you the $364 million question.
Okay.
Are facilities taking people right now? What is going on today? Okay.
Today they are, and they're very, when COVID first hit, the last place you wanted to be was in the senior living community because they were just hit hard. Now they're taking just huge precautions. COVID testing once a week of residents and employees, nobody in and out. Visitation is really low, which is hard for families to accept, but you have to ask yourself the question, do you want your loved one safe, or do you want to be able to see them once every month? What's really more important. So they are, and when you're admitted, they do a COVID test before you move in. And then when you move in, you're being kind of isolated for 2 weeks. And then you're also retested. I think some of them are retesting in a week, and then you're allowed out into the general population. But they're just really working hard to keep everybody safe and still doing admissions.
That's good. That's great because we have to learn to live with this, and we have to keep going on. And I'm glad because I know for my ex-husband, they did he had to go to the hospital. So they took him to the hospital. And whatever happened, then they brought him back and they isolated, and then he was able to go. So they have that too. You could have something happen to you and you need care, and then you have to come back. So,
right, and that is happening. And that's probably the hardest part for the communities is when people have to go out to the hospital and then come back because it's a hospital. Yeah. And, and then another thing about COVID, if you've got someone that that you think, we really think that they need to go and live someplace else, they're really offering huge incentives. Like some communities, like 4 months free, waiving a community one time fee. I mean, they are really offering
because they suffered in that period, and people still are afraid because of
So they're making it. So if you are thinking about it, this is a good time.
Good time.
Same for bargains.
Well, same thing for real estate. I'm going to put a plug in. We are all desperate for listings. And it's the same thing. People are afraid to do anything. So right now, if you put your home, I don't care what time of year it is, we've got buyers out there and there's no inventory. So, because of the climate, that's where we're at right now. So, where, in 8 months, this could be a totally different picture, and you won't be getting discounts, and you won't be, and there'll be an onslaught of foreclosures on the market, possibly. So we're keeping our eye out for that. Well, Leslie, this has been great.
Thank you.
I am so I want everybody to know, if you want Leslie's information, it's here on this on the YouTube channel, and you can text me or DM me. I'm happy to give you Leslie's information. It'll also be on my website in my 5-star referral center, which is coming next year. So, if you need Leslie, I highly recommend her. So it was great talking to you, and I want to wish everybody a really happy weekend, and please stay safe.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Bye.
guys.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye-bye.